Oh, we're live. Oh, hello everybody, and V is here.
Hello.
He's not going to steal anything. I'm watching him. Don't worry.
You know, I came to Britain and I think ritualists tried to pickpocket me. So
Damn. What's he? A Scouser or something?
it was nice meeting you there, by the way.
Oh, it was nice meeting you too. I know I didn't spend a lot of time with you in Sargon, and even Mike, and I met Mike a few times. Mike is Dr. Adam McCann people, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I wanted to mingle, so I mingled as much as I could.
I took a piss with Mike.
Me and
3
Sandra
times
as well.
now.
Sandra guy's massive. He always said he was tall, but I didn't think he was that tall.
Yeah, he's really tall. Sargon is actually really short. And that's somewhere in
I heard he's 5'9", so that means I've grown 23.
yeah. I don't use the savage measuring instrument in feet. We use meters.
Oh yeah, meters. Meters confuse me.
See, the reason people use meters is because feet was actually started by measuring with actual feet, you know? But one
Really?
person can have a long, yeah, no, this is actually a thing. Like, this is why British people like measure thing in like, feet, ounces, stuff like that. Because they actually use human feet or legs, you know? And some people have like bigger feet and some have smaller. And this is when people like, okay, let's standardize this. And they made the meter, the kilogram.
So what about hands? Because that's for horses. That's how you measure a horse, a hand.
Hand stones, like British people used in antiquity. Sorry, in antiquity, in medieval times, they used actual.
And now,
yeah, they use
we use
actual,
both. Like we use pints for drinks. We use meters for running. Because I only know what 100 meters is. Oh, white YouTubers in the chat.
Can you give me the link so I can share it?
Oh yeah, of course. Hang on a sec. I'll just tweet it to you. So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff in the time that we have, and why don't we start with the spicy meme?
What? Are Trav's gay?
Well, yeah. Do you think they're gay or not?
Of course, it's degenerate and it's faggotry. I don't even understand why is the question.
I think it's pretty gay, like iDubbbz gay. I'm gay kind of stuff.
I don't understand. There's nothing wrong with being gay, right? I mean, if you like taking it up the bum, that's fine by me. But at least be honest about it, you know.
Exactly right. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's current year.
Yeah, it's the whole ideology basically. Like they want you to believe that if a man, without surgery, without anything, dresses up like a woman, he becomes a woman. He has the polymorph spell, you know, and you can't question it in any way. So basically for them, that's why women can have a penis.
So they basically not only got the polymorph spell, but they're the polymorph from Red Dwarf.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the idea of gender fluid exists, you know, like a person who today is a man, tomorrow is a woman. Like they want to put all of that in. And I think the reason they want to do it is because they want to ruin the gender traditional roles, which they can't. Like 99% of the population of the world believes and uses two genders. So even if you were to enforce like gender fluid, there's not enough people to use it to the point where we can say, okay, we need a new classification.
Also, like they think they can change it or can just do away with it, but a lot of it has a natural basis in biology. So it's like, good luck, guys.
Yeah, pretty much it. I mean, all women want to be women. And you can look at this in Muslim nations where women have to wear the burqa. And I spoke with people who were ex-Muslims, and they told me, it's like, look, I was a woman. I was in these places. Like, all of them have the most expensive purses, the most expensive cell phones. And underneath the burqa, they dress really expensively because when they go with other women at women-only parties, they show off and, you know, like, whose husband is richer and stuff like that. So they're still acting like women, despite the fact that the ideology like forces them to wear the uniform. Like everyone has to dress the same. Everyone has to wear the burqa. So it still shows like deep underneath there is this biological thing which women have, which is to show off who's more pretty, who's more beautiful.
It's almost like peacocking, isn't it?
No, I don't know if it's peacocking, but it's how women wear. You know, especially in high school, you get to see this. Obviously, not all women. Hashtag not all. But it would be false to say that the overwhelming majority of women don't do it.
Yeah, it's like it's just the way humans are, and they're not going to change that anytime soon.
Yeah,
unless
they like to look beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just being feminine.
And men like to use their hands. Well, sort of. You know, some like to just.
Well, men like to do things. This is what I think. Like men are driven to compete and to be better. And when you have like a man who doesn't do these things, he doesn't feel really satisfied. And I noticed this in a lot of places where a man loses his job, and especially in Romania, everyone in the house needs to have an income. So the man will lose his job, and the woman would take care of the household while the man stays at home, and he basically becomes like quote unquote housekeeper. Most of these relationships end up badly. Like they start arguing, they start fighting because the man doesn't feel himself like an actual man. He doesn't feel that he's contributing.
Yeah, it feels emasculated.
Yeah, pretty much that's the word.
So like, Skeptic Plus.
Oh my god.
You know what? Vadim actually sent me a load of DMs when I keep using that term. I think he doesn't like it when people steal the meme that he claims to have created. Did he actually create that? I don't know. I remember you saying
Which
it,
meme?
and a few others. Skeptic Plus.
No, I think I created it. It was basically, I made a video like a really while back when the moment Thunderfoot started to basically quote Willy Bumblebee and other people. And he said that he left the skeptic community. I made a video and I called it the Skeptic Plus. I don't know if anyone did it before me, but I basically did it, without talking with anyone. And I made the mockery out of the atheism plus thing. It's like we're atheist plus social justice. We're atheist plus we care about women.
I much prefer it to anti-SJW or anti-tribalist because it's a Skeptic Plus. It's catchy, you remember it, and it's just easy to say.
Yeah.
But an anti-SJW is like, come on, we got to think
it's like anti-skeptic. Like what? So you're anti-thinking about for yourself. Is this?
That's the thing, though.
Like, is this a label you want to have?
We live in a world where in certain communities, rationalist, rational, and skeptic and skeptical are dirty words.
Honestly, I hate the label skeptic. I don't know who made it. Yeah, I don't know who made it, but usually when they talk about skeptics, they talk about Sargon and people who agree with it all the time, every single time, right? I don't think there is like a skeptic community. There is a community of YouTubers who do political analysis. And well, sure, like some of us agree with each other. Like for instance, I agree with Sargon not because he tells me what to say, but because I would make a video and then I would watch his Weak and Stupid and I would see that he has almost the same interpretation like I do. And it's probably because we read the same books, we believe in the same ideology, which is liberalism. And I think this is why we agree with each other. But there are other people like Tealdir or people like, what was his name? Harmful Opinions. And we disagree. I mean, it's not everyone. There's like this tightly knit community. I used to like Lauren Southern, and then she started talking about identity politics and stuff like that.
Yeah, vigilantism, like
yeah, and I still, I don't view her as an enemy, or I don't view her as. Yeah, I mean, I don't view her as a bad person per se, but we have ideological disagreements. I don't agree with the worldview that she has, and I don't think that this is a bad thing. I think we can disagree and we can still talk with each other like human beings. The problem with the skeptic class, right, isn't that they disagree with me per se, is that they constantly insult me. And okay, so you want me to treat you like a basic human being when you're a piece of shit. I mean, they called me a child molester, right? Because there's the video where I sign autographs and someone goes into a children's playground and flies a Kyrgyzstani flag, and I'm not even in the playground. So when you're releasing these lies and these shit about me, and no one in your community that's your friend and they're all about criticizing people for having bad morality, no one is pointing it out and no one is saying, oh, well, this is a low blow, don't do it. Of course I'm going to be pissed off at them.
You know why they did that, right? Because they've got no argument. Like, firstly, the reason why he made that implication is because, well, firstly, it's near a playground, so obviously, right? Also, they think we're all just this disgusting people who just are turning into the enemy that we tried to fight, and so that means that we're now as bad as pedophiles. And it's like, no, like, can you actually think of anything better than that? Like, take advantage of a video that came out of some guy being an idiot in a jungle gym. Really, guys? Is that the best you've got? And then also the girl who did the original footage, who was there, Discordia, like, Thunderfoot was linking her video, her actual video, right?
Yeah.
And it's like attracting a load of idiots to a bloody video. But she's handling them well, but it's like he doesn't seem to care if they get hate or not.
Can you imagine if I would do this to Robert Gething, or any one of them? If I would like see them next to a park and someone does something stupid and I'll say, okay, you're a child molester. How would they feel? Do you think they'll be like, oh yeah, that's perfectly legit?
The thing is, though, they cowardly implied it rather than just straight up call us that. I would have been a little bit more respectful to them if they had just straight up said, yeah, they're like pedos, but they didn't. They just implied it.
Where's the link to this chat? Because I want to share it.
Oh, hang on. I sent it to you on Twitter, but I can
You
send
said
it
it
to you
on
again.
Twitter? Okay, hold on.
Oh yeah, the Twitter.
Yeah, I find it.
So like, what you know what I found out? Because what happened was when I left, I'd missed my train, and then I got a Facebook message hours before by a friend who said, "Hey, why don't you come over, stay with me for the night?" I'm like, "Shit," because I could have got a picture with Lauren Southern and say, "Hey, Spino, look who it is." I could have done that, but I didn't. That'd be so funny.
Give me a second.
All right, we gotta wait for V. He's
I found like a thing called gender democracy, which is a thing, and just showing some articles to people that are now it's like walking in a chair, they're crossing themselves when they see the ridiculous things on that page.
I need to see this. I need to see this now.
No, I'll show it to you after because I want to break the news, But yeah, I mean, the problem with them is that I've never heard them like pick one of my videos and actually go through the arguments I'm making and say, no, you're wrong. Like, for instance, now I made the video where I say the Romanian food is shit compared to the rest of the European Union, right? And then I have like arguments that I based on this. Also, the fact that I went to Britain and the food there tastes better than one here. And also the fact that there's governments like Bulgaria, like Hungary, like Ukraine, sorry, not Ukraine, Bulgaria, Hungary, and I think there was one more. But anyway, they come up and they say like the food here is shit, right? I would like to see a Skeptic Plus come in and say, no, V, the food in Romania is amazing. Here's my arguments. They never do that. They never like actually go into the video that I make and like talk with the points. No, they're like, oh, wow, Sargon reported someone on the Twitter. The world is ending. Oh, wow, you guys had fun in a playground. Oh my God. Like this is what they're doing. It's like, oh, so basically we're not wrong, but you're just saying that we're bad people according to you. Like we don't fit your moral values. I don't give a shit about your moral values. The only person who needs to fit your moral values is yourself, right? I don't have to fit your moral values like you don't have to fit mine.
Well, I don't like you mentioned it, they don't actually attack your arguments, they just attack you. Like Robin Gethin, do you remember on Twitter, was it yesterday or the day before, I jumped into your one of your many arguments, and he mentioned that, oh, at least I don't need to do a cut, like a jump cut every 30 minutes or something. And I'm like, what? And then he said, I'm really long-winded. It's like his stream's gone for 9 hours. Short, mate.
Yeah. No, I mean, Robert Gething, right? The way they argue as well is disingenuous. Like he was constantly asking for sources, and I keep giving him sources, and he just refuses to acknowledge them. Like he asks for a source, literally like 3 lines, after which I give him the source.
And then he drew the arrow.
Yeah, I made an arrow for the moron, and he still pretends not to see it, right? I would have to fly to where the fuck is he, Britain or whatnot, right? Grab him by the back of his head and stuff his face into the monitor. Look, idiot, look, that's the citation. Lives in London. That's what we're talking about.
He apparently lives in London. He and Sandra met each other that day. Oh, is it the day before the meetup? But yeah, he could have come over.
I would have liked to meet him. I mean, the bad man of beer. Because I'm a decent human being, Robert Gething. I keep hearing this being thrown around, decent human being. Do you know what? Like Robert Gething can't criticize social justice. Like I asked him, okay, you don't want me to become a social justice warrior, right? So what's wrong with social justice warriors then? According to you, I know what's wrong with them. But according to you, what is wrong with them? He can't answer. And I asked him, okay, yeah, what's wrong with Antifa? Can you name? Because he's friends with Fino, who defended Antifa. Spino has communists in his mention. They never call them out. Like not once. Not once do they, the moral faggotry doesn't go on their side. But they're anti-tribalistic. And I'm asking them, like, can you tell me something wrong with Antifa? No, they can't.
It's the same when during the Milo Yiannopoulos thing, when they were accusing him of being a paedophile apologist. Yeah. All the time he kept going, very young boys. Every time he tried to make an argument, go, very young boys. And it's like, he means young men. Boys means someone 18 to like 20 something.
Yeah, I know.
And it just keeps going. Very young boys. And for his
Like,
like
here's the
very
thing.
young boys.
Yeah, if tomorrow Sargon of Akkad would be against pedophilia, they will be for it. Like that's the way their morality goes. Like they need people like me and Sargon so they can have morals, right? For instance, they're against harassment and bullying on the Twitter, and it's all fun and games until a social justice activist gets banned. And all of a sudden they're for it. It's like, no, it's okay to curse on the Twitter. Really, if I would go to Anita Sarkeesian and I would say, you have nigger tits, come here, nigger tits, woman, all of a sudden they would be in an outrage. Like, how can you say something like this? Da, 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 da. And they would report me, right? Because that's how they get their morality. Everything I do, they're against it. If tomorrow I take a piss, they're against it because why didn't I piss in the sink? Like anything you do, they're absolutely on the opposite side. But and it's infuriating that like Robert Geffink is saying trigger. Yeah, I'm triggered. I'm absolutely triggered. When you come online and someone calls you a child molester, that is triggering. That is a legitimate reason to get triggered.
To me, what triggers me is that they say I'm the tribalist, of pointing out that they're tribalist. Yeah, and I'm talking to them and I'm trying to reason with them. And I try to talk to other people, but I'm a tribalist apparently, because reasons. And then they won't talk.
The ad hominem attacks they do, you know. According to them, if I have a friend, I'm a tribalist.
It's like Fox from the West. He used to be part of that whole thing, and then he started being nice to Sargon, and then Spinal's like, no.
They call him the Weasel from the West.
You're a right winger. I mean, I bet he must now realize what we tried to tell him.
Yeah, and it's funny, like they keep ostracizing people. Like they're anti-tribalists, but if you don't agree 100% with their point of view, you're basically being outcasted. Like they will attack you. And the thing is, they're not social justice, because I never heard them like talk against, you know, white privilege and shit like that. Although I wouldn't be surprised. I did hear Spino talk about communism. That was fine. But I don't hear them talk about white privilege, manspreading, right? But if you attack someone, if you attack someone that talks about manspreading, they will defend the person talking about manspreading. Like they will defend Anita Sarkeesian, for instance.
Well, you know, men do have very wide legs. It's like, what? I mean, I'm just imagining them saying that. Like, they got very...
dude, like honestly, if I would spread on a subway, right, and a woman comes up to me and says, "Sir, can you please, you know, allow me to sit?" Of course. I mean, why wouldn't I? But it's called like interaction. You know, it's called being a normal human being.
Yeah, but that's something they don't understand.
I mean, when I went to London, right, I got in the bus, it was full, and there was this lady that there was only one seat left, and there was this old British lady that had like these huge bags on one of the chairs. And I asked her, you know, is it okay if I sit there? And yeah, you know, she was really pissed off that on her face, at least I saw that she was really
that's Londoners for you.
Yeah, that, you know, the foreigner asks her to move her shit.
No, it's just because she's from London. That's really it.
Really? Okay, yeah. I don't know, but still, right? So I sit next to her, but I mean, would it be okay if I would just took pictures of her and go like, "Oh, look at this, how women act in buses, they fill spaces," blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's like I actually tried to ask a bus driver for directions, and he was like, "No, go to the other one," because he couldn't hear me. I was like, "What?" Because I got lost there. It's like they just don't. They to me, I think they're dishonest. The plus skeptic plus they know this is the case, but they have to be disingenuous and dishonest.
Well, Spino was an MRA. Like he was agreeing with most of the talking points, and all of a sudden now he's like pro-communism and shit. And people who say that he's not communist, like he actually says this on a comment section when he talked with Xerxes or whatever the fuck it.
At least he turned up.
Yeah, people accused him of being pro-communism, pro-socialism, and I have this in my video, right? I showed the actual log, and you can't see it anymore because he deleted the video, but you do have my video which shows the evidence, right? And he said that people accuse me of being pro-socialism, pro-communism. Well, I always kind of have been. So there you go. Like the man admits it. Like it's not me making an accusation.
He's lying when he says that, because I've known him, well, used to know him for 2 years, and he used to be closer to the centre, almost a libertarian. Still on the left a tiny little bit. Then all of a sudden his political compass moved to the left. I'm like, how did that happen? Like not authoritarian somehow, considering what he says, but I don't know.
I don't give a flying fuck about his politics, right? I can be friend with a communist. I can be friend with a white nationalist. I can be friend with anyone, right? We don't talk about politics. Like, my life doesn't revolve around politics except when I'm on YouTube. But what pisses me off is the character assassination, like attacking me, calling me a doxer because I said on a video that he used to be against having sex with women until he met a virgin pussy from Qatar. And according to that's doxing. I put this woman's life in danger.
That's
and
the best video,
like
that one.
There was
the sheets.
Yeah, you saw the video. And there was like this sarcastic, this hysterical woman that popped out from Christy Winters' pussy. And she goes at me. It's like, stop putting this woman's life in danger. What do you want? You want to see her on a dead slab in the morgue?
Was that Christiosity?
I'm like, do you even know who I'm talking about? Because I didn't give the name of Spino's girlfriend. No, but I'm the kind of person who defends first and asks questions later. Stop it. It's like, Jesus Christ. Christy Winters, what goes on in your vagina? The kind of people that live there. Fuck me. But this is like, you know, the anti-tribalists. Like, they don't even know what they're defending. But there's something that requires defending, so...
It's tribalism. That's why they defend it, ironically enough. And what I liked about that whole hoo-ha was afterwards, ages afterwards, when they already proved that it wasn't a scam or anything like that, I was part of a group with Nick, you know, Wizard of Cars, the Viscerati, and then Spino started deleting me out of the group to fuck with me. And then his reasons were that I'm a pro-doxer and I helped dox his girlfriend. It's like, no, I didn't. And you're fucking with me with that because...
You know what's even more funny, right? One of Spino's friends makes a video and he actually goes on and explains in details how someone could pinpoint the girlfriend that we're talking about, and he goes like, well, yes, V, but see, now that you say that she is from Qatar and we know her ethnicity, and he gives her ethnicity, and we know this and this and that, and he collects like different information from different places. And it's like, okay, so if I go on Google and I found that this info, I'm a doxer, but you're doing the exact same shit now, and you're even going like more in depth, like you're giving even more details, and literally like none of the anti-tribalists care. Like none of them care. And the person that I'm talking about, the one that is supposed to, you know, get the girl out of Qatar, is saying like, why is she giving out her ethnicity? Like the fact that she's a woman from Qatar is no problem. But now that you're giving your ethnicity, when you go to the airport, like people can check. It's like, okay, this girl with this ethnicity is now here, so it's...
Well, it's her own fault for telling people that. She's...
Oh my God, she goes around on the Twitter with Haram girl. I mean, you're telling me that she has parents that, you know, do honor killings and shit. And basically she goes on Twitter and talks about, you know, how much she's against Islam. She goes on Breitbart and gives interviews there. And she got like money in the bank, and her parents that are control freaks don't notice. And it's just...
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It really makes you think. I mean, I always used to see this. And then when you see the money disappeared, and then you see the fact that
no, it's in her pockets. That's where the money is. Like, according to the person running the charity, like she's trying to get out, but she was offered to marry Spino and she refused. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, so if you're in this hostile place and you're afraid that you're literally going to get murdered, you can marry Spino, and you don't even have to have sex with him.
No.
Just saying. Like, arranged marriages is not something, you know, sorry, marriages for getting a car.
He's 20. He doesn't need to ask permission from his mum. He can just do it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, like, if she doesn't like him, despite the fact that she claims she does, she could just marry him and not have sex. Like,
get a divorce.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is to get the plane ticket, right? That's it. Because once she's in Britain, she can ask for political asylum, and she's probably going to get it. So all she has to do is like, yeah, you know what? I consent to the marriage. They can get married, you know, just a paper marriage.
And then the thing is, though, they could have like cleared all this on their own, but they didn't. They chose to leave us all in the dark and then blame us for their problems and their fuck-ups. Like, we didn't cause any of this. You did.
No, I mean, the whole reason I looked into it is because he called me a doxer. And it's like, oh, I'm a doxer? Okay, then let's see what you did.
The whole thing. I hope he comes back. He has to come back, right? There's no way he's disappeared
going
forever.
to come back. I know he's going to come back.
I mean, he's your favorite lol cow after all. I mean, he can't.
Yeah,
He's the yin to your yang, or is it the other way around?
He's such a lol-cow. He has hashtags in his name, and honestly, Robert Gething just isn't the same.
He really isn't. He's just boring. No offense, Robin, but
very boring. Exactly. That's it. Like Spino is really funny. I miss you, Spino. Please come back.
Please come back.
What if he's already here and we don't know?
Yeah, he could be watching and waiting. He was subbed to me back in the day.
I mean, I'm 100% sure that he already has an account. You know, he just doesn't use it. I mean, he doesn't use it to talk with us, but I'm pretty sure like he would have an account.
What, like Laughing Witch? She has a few sock accounts somewhere.
Does she? If she's still relevant, Jesus fucking Christ, that woman.
Oh, she's not relevant, but she did use a new account to try and coordinate that false flagging campaign that they tried to do to Thunderfoot and Oz. You know, Oz was the guy in Kraut's video who got the blog made about it.
Yeah, I know. Like,
you know what's funny about that? Kevin Logan was asked to be involved in that, and he was like, "Is this really a good idea?" And then didn't do anything about it.
I don't blame him. I honestly don't blame him. Like, he doesn't have to be the morality police of the internet. Honestly, I mean, if he didn't participate, look, if he didn't participate, I don't care. You know, I actually tried to get his channel back. I directed him to who he was supposed to talk with.
He's blaming your fans. It's really he's
yeah, I know. I told him off. I said I called him a cretin for it. You know, it's like if you don't have any arguments. To be fair, I mean, initially I thought Spino blocked one of my videos. It was like for harassment and bullying because I talked about Spino, and I thought that only the person who's harassed and bullied can flag your video because that makes sense, right? I mean, if I make a joke at a friend and the friend laughs at it, it's a third party can't flag it for harassment and bullying. It has to be, well, don't you agree? Like the person who's harassed and bullied can only talk because it's a subjective thing.
I agree.
Yeah, I can call you a cunt and you're fine, but I can call Anita Sarkeesian a cunt and she's being harassed and bullied.
Well, all you have to do is sit next to her.
Yeah, apparently. No, you have to listen to her, right? Because that's what she said. Like, men should sit down, shut up, and listen. And when men do that, it's not okay.
It's harassment.
Yeah, it's harassment, yeah. But anyway, right, so, what were we talking about?
Down there?
Yeah, the harassment and bullying. Yeah, so I thought he flagged the video because, you know, he was the one being harassed and bullying. But apparently, no. Apparently, according to YouTube, like, anyone can flag it. And then I apologized in another video. And I said, look, I was wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then I didn't mention. You know, I did say that since I picked on Reese, this thing has happened, which is true. But I also said that I pissed off so many people that I wouldn't be able to know. I pissed off the alt-right. I pissed off the white nationalists. I pissed off some of the Christian community, like Max Kolb group. I pissed off the social justice activists. I pissed off the Skeptic Plus. I pissed off PETA. I pissed off a lot of people on my channel.
I think it's third-party trolls. That's my theory. They're doing it to wind everybody up for their own entertainment.
I don't know, but whoever it was very effective.
It was. I mean,
yeah,
it got everybody watching.
Yeah, the person that helped me out was also impressed by how effective it was. Like 5 different videos. And I even like made a video trying to, you know, fish them. Like I was really upset and, you know, sad, and I wanted to see like who capitalizes on this. And no one did. I don't know. I think Spino was the only one who was glad that I got banned. Like he actually made a video and he said like, sorry, he posted on the Twitter that, oh yeah, good riddance. If you flag these videos, I'll shake your hand.
This creature. Yeah.
But it just goes to show what a piece of shit he is. You know, I would never be happy if his videos get flagged.
I think it shows how far gone he is. Like the fact he doesn't even consider you human. He's gone far beyond anything.
Oh, none of them consider me human. Like none of them. They have a deep, passionate hatred towards me and Sargon. And again, like they don't. Yeah.
I was going to say, speaking of the deep.
Yeah, I know. No, but this is why I'm so disgusting towards them, right? Like, if you're going to treat me like a piece of shit, or you're going to affiliate with people that treat me like a piece of shit, I don't have to respect you. You know, like Robert Gething was like, oh, you're thinking about intellectual terminalist cliches. And no. Listen, if in my class there were some people that did this, what you're doing to me, I would just not associate with them. and they would be pieces of shit in my eyes. Like I don't have to get people insult me constantly, and I have to be nice with them.
Yeah, and speaking of that, that's exactly what Sargon did, and well, what spicy.
But the thing with Sargon did, right? He constantly talked against harassment on the Twitter. Like, he's never okay with insulting people. He's never okay with cursing people on Twitter. And I am the same. Like, I was part of Gamergate police, you know, like going around and flagging people who were insulting Brianna Wu and Anita Sarkeesian. I'm not okay with that. Of course, sometimes I insult others because I'm also not okay with walking on a red light. But, you know, sometimes you just do it. And sometimes I get really angry, and I'm a human being. And sometimes, you know, I insult someone. But if I would be flagged, I would just face the consequences. You know, sometimes I go on a bus without a ticket, and if I get caught, I pay the fine. I mean, there are certain moralities which you can break, and, you know, because they're really small, like, for instance, walking on a red light or cursing someone on the Twitter. But if you're caught breaking them, you know, fine.
And that's what Christiosity did. She literally said, I'm going to, well, not literally, more like implied she was going to harass him for ages, saying how much of a piece of shit he was.
Yeah.
Every day, like she has done
break the terms
for the
of
past
service.
year.
She broke the terms of service.
And then they complained, and it's like, you support
no, she
those
didn't.
rules.
She didn't. She actually, no. Listen. She admitted that she was wrong. That's the interesting thing. Like, she admitted she was wrong, but her friends started bitching.
You know what's interesting about that? Tim Blake got suspended, didn't he? His account got terminated. Then he created a new one. But there's a friend of mine called K Rulius, and he got terminated, made a new one, because that's against the TOS, actually. But
yeah,
then Michael Rowlands and Tim, Tim was definitely involved, and a few others from the clique flagged him and terminated that one. But Tim can do that, and it's okay, but he broke the rules. Yeah, we're the tribalists.
No, they will make a loophole, and they will say it's not the same, because it's not. If it's not like 100% the same, if it's not to the letter, but it is in the spirit, then that's fine. That's not the same, right? So you can't do it. But this is the thing, right? They want everyone else to live to their moral standards, and when you point out, bitch, you don't live to your moral standards, they're outrageous. They're like, oh, no. If you don't agree with my moral standards, don't talk about them.
Exactly. Like just leave it. I hate that. I love the whole hypocrisy aspect, and then you got other people who aren't even SJWs playing the alt-centrist game, and it's like, guys,
that's what this is now. It's like, if you're in the center, you should be able to say 5 bad things about social justice warriors. I can say 5 bad things about social justice warriors. I can say 5 bad things about white nationalists. I can say 5 bad things about atheists. I can say 5 bad things about Christians. I can say 5 bad things about almost anything. You know, and if I can't, then it means I have a bias, right? And I will admit, okay, I can't say 5 bad things about this because I have a bias towards it. But they don't do that. They don't want to.
To be honest, it wasn't all centrists, but they were saying, oh, Sargon's hypocritical now. He's using their tactics, but they don't flag by the TOS standards. They actually tend to false flag.
Yeah.
Like, that's
what I mean, when Sargon flags, because I know what he flags. He told me. It's things that are actually vile, you know, like things that, and it's like something that doesn't even add anything to the conversation. Like, what exactly do you add to the conversation if you tell someone that I'm going to remind you what a piece of shit you are every single day of your life? How is that? Like, and this is something else that Sargon says. Like, free speech is it has to be political speech, right? Cursing someone is not political speech.
It's just cursing someone.
Yeah, it's just cursing someone. Like, you don't have to do it. It's not free. It's not like pushing ideas, because this is what free speech needs to be. You're not pushing ideas. How exactly are you pushing an idea if all you do is you call someone a cunt? I mean, you get to feel better for it. You know,
I'm not averse to calling someone one, as long as it's not my argument. As long as it's not an ad hominem, it's just
it's not an argument, exactly. Well, you know, the meme, not an argument.
Or an argument.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, you can say, look, I think you're retarded because this and this and that. And that's not a curse, right? That is an argument. But if you just go to someone and you go like, yo, you're a retard, how is that going to construct a conversation? Like, what exactly are you? You're just, you know, you're just virtue signaling, basically. You're saying to other people, I don't agree with this guy and I'm mocking him.
there's a lot of virtue signaling, like, look, I'm not like Sargon because I don't block people, I don't report people. I'm like, yeah, you don't. So what, mate?
No, but listen, right? I'm not against cursing, right? But you know who's against cursing? Twitter is, right? And they have a terms of service. And they, the social justice warriors, are okay with the terms of service. Like they're the ones who even made the terms of service. You had Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn go to the United Nations and talk about how important it is to ban bad words on the Twitter. None of them complained. None of them had any issues with it. And again, this is why Sargon makes these people's morality. Like without Sargon, they would be lost. They would have no morals. Because the moment Sargon applies the TOS, then they start to be against it.
And that, I think that's how we're actually going to change it for the better, because the more they complain about their own rules, they might change it, which might work to our advantage. But that's just my opinion. It might not work that way.
I honestly think that, you know, if Sargon would become a monster, these might actually become decent people.
Possibly. He won't do that, though, because he's just not in his nature. That.
Oh, man.
I wonder if
he actually like tries to be as ethical as possible and tries to I mean, he does piss people off because he doesn't care about feelings. But as you said, you know, like hurting someone's feelings is not against the TOS. But he does try to follow the TOS. He does try to follow YouTube guidelines, so on and so forth. Because there's so many people just watching him. Not for his arguments, but what he does, what his behaviors are.
Exactly. Like when you're watched 24/7 for any wrong move you might make, even when you make a right move, they will still take it out of context. Tom Bloke, will say, "Oh look, Sargon's just said something. You know, he didn't actually say that, or do something that he didn't actually do." So to be honest, in the end, no matter what he does, they're gonna twist it or spin it. Like they span the flag thing in the park. It's like,
yeah. Do you know what a piece of shit Tom Bloke is, by the way?
I know.
Spoke with him a lot. I don't follow him, but I like the only thing that I saw was just so cringe. Ian Miles Chung, who's working for The Sun, he made a mistake in an article, and it wasn't like a huge mistake. And Tom Blow corrects him, and Ian Miles says, "Yeah, okay, I'm sorry, I made this mistake. I'll correct it, right?" And then he goes like, "Your entire work is garbage. You're full of shit. Is this the research that you do? Look at what kind of journalist you have become." I was like, "Man, everyone makes a mistake every now and then." You know,
what is Tom Bloke anyways? An SJW or an anti-skeptic plus?
I don't
thingy. I don't know.
But I wonder if he can say like 5 bad things about social justice. I'm really curious. And by the way, Robert Gething did say like some bad things, like, "Oh, it's because they created people like you." It's like, listen, Tom Bloke, this is the kind of shit you write in a resume under flaws, right? Cut the shit. Tell me 5 actual bad things.
The thing about him though is that he was probably the main influence behind the hard on for a sad thing, where Spino will just take him Sargon out of context and just mock him. I mean, it's not about mocking him, but at least mocking to his face. You're his friend. Well, we're supposed to be his friend. I hate Tom Bloke, but I think there's others that I hate more because he's just some guy that we should probably ignore. Because
yeah, I mean, I am ignoring them, but it's annoying when you have like someone like Shu who thinks I'm a doxer and a child molester or whatnot, and then I have to contact her and clear it up, and then she's like, "Oh wow, I didn't know your side of the story."
Fuck her. She thinks Bering attacks kids. It's like, no, he didn't, and they made that up. Her and Greg made that up.
But if Bering contacts her and gets his side of the story, she doesn't think that because Shu is actually a reasonable person, right? The only time I spoke with her, she was actually quite reasonable. So I'm not going to throw her out response.
But they didn't seem to respond to him in any way, as far as I know.
No, just contact her. Like she responded me. I gave her a message on the Twitter. But this is what these people do, you know, that like they spread false lies and they spin stories and shit. And it's character assassination. It's all there is. Like none of my arguments are ever being impactful.
But I think it says a lot about Shu that she's believing all that without maybe thinking, is it really like that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone probably falls in this. You know, like you hear a lot of bad things about someone and then you start believing them.
Oh yeah, I did about Emaus Chung, like with the Nazi thing. It wasn't really like that at all. It wasn't as cut and dry as that.
Yeah. You know, like, but the moment, like, the difference between an honest person and a dishonest one is when you get the side of the story that's true. If that other person goes like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that." Yeah, you're okay. You're in the clear. Versus someone who goes like completely dismisses your side of the story, like doesn't even want to talk with you.
So what do you think? What do you think about VidCon then, with the whole lovey-dovey thing where everyone's like, we should make peace and start building bridges, but then
Oh,
Francesca
awesome!
and all the
Oh,
others were just
great,
like,
amazing! I really like it. Because
but
they
then
look
like,
like, yeah, they look like shit now. You know, like Francesca Ramsey going on that stream and talking about how, you know, talking shit about the common people. It's like, oh, these people, they're only on YouTube and they never have the money and the fame that I got. And it's like, oh, wow. So everything we said about bourgeoisie, Fox, is absolutely right. You have absolutely no respect for people that don't earn as much as you or don't have the fame that you do. You consider yourself superior. And then it's like seeing how she backstabs everyone.
yeah, I was going to mention that.
Yeah, why wouldn't I want to see that? It exposes exactly what they are. Good for armor skeptic, you know? And it also shows like how they want to have a discussion. Like they don't want to have a discussion. They just want to. I mean, if armor skeptic would have gone along and he would have like started tone policing the skeptic community, quote unquote, he would have been ostracized. He would have lost his subscribers. He would have lost everything, and then MTV would probably dump him as well.
Is he on MTV or is it her?
No, she wanted, yeah, she wanted to offer him like an MTV thing, like pay him to appear on MTV to have like a debate with her or something.
Yeah, what's the wrong with the debate? Really, is there? As long as you want, but I don't know. But like, didn't someone
I would love to have a debate with these people? Like, I would want to ask them, why do you think representation is important in mainstream media? Why do you think comic book representation is a thing? Why do you think women need to have small tits in comic books? There's so many things that I would like to ask them. How is it benefiting Julie? Because now she sees, I don't know, Miss Marvel having B-sized tits.
Also,
what do you think about 50 Shades of Grey? You know, these are questions that I would legitimately want answers from.
Also, what I like is that they, oh, if I can remember what I was going to say. Oh, no. I can't remember. Can't remember. Say something. I'll think of it. I'll try and remember it.
Right. But I think Lacey Green is actually honest, you know, and if she turns out not to be honest, because a lot of people are saying this, it will only hurt her. Like, it's not going to hurt any of the people that trusted her, you know. But the thing with Armor Skeptic, I think Francesca couldn't have picked a worse target, because after he got burned with Candid, I think he did learn his lesson. Yeah. So it's like the worst person in the community that she could have picked.
I think the way she just backtracked on all that, I think that was a tribal thing. I think she was afraid of backlash. But then again, at the same time, she is kind of scummy in a way. So I would ask them, like, why do you feel the need to create these echo chambers even when people aren't nasty to you? Like, why? What good does it do to you?
I can explain why.
I'd be rhetorical.
No, I actually know, because I spoke with a lot of them that left the cult, right? So it's basically lonely people who go through a bad time in their life, and then they find like a community that's nice with them, and they join this community, and everyone is nice, everyone is pleasant, and then they like start being part of the ideology, and they're like, oh, you have this friend in your life that's, you know, incredibly racist, horrible, disgusting, you need to get rid of them. And they slowly like get rid of all the friends that they have until they're surrounded only with the social justice people. So they know that if they lose their friends, they will be alone, because that's what they do. Like, they ostracize people. I mean, there is a video I'm going to talk with like an 8-year-old transgender or transgender or what the fuck, and she's saying that, oh, if you have a friend that says you can't be whatever you want, get rid of that friend. If you have parents who say you can't be whatever you want, get rid of the parents. And it's just,
that sounds like very communist.
No, it's not communist. It's
I mean, getting rid of the parents. You know what I mean?
Well, the communists didn't want you to get rid of the parents. The communists just made it that you work 16 hours a day and you don't have time to take care of your kids. The National Socialists, the Nazis, also did the same. It's more National Socialist than communism, in my opinion.
We've got some super chats though. Susan Anderson says, "Enjoy your work, thank you." And my friend and moderator Sir Adamantine says, "V, I love your unwillingness to put up with stupid shit."
But I don't understand why I need to put up with it. That's the thing. Like, what do they have over my head that I need to put up with their shit? If it's shit, I'm not going to put up with it.
It's something I want to ask you. Do you think that because you have a big subscriber base, well, in comparison to mine,
yeah,
that makes people harass people just when you make a response and link the video in the description? Do you think makes
I can't control my subscribers, right? As long, I mean, if I were to say go and harass this person, then yeah, it's my fault. But if someone goes and harasses someone, you know whose fault is it? The person who goes and harasses, right? They're individuals. They're capable. Like, it's the thing of dehumanizing the harasser. You know, like making him like he's a force of nature or something. Like he's some sort of an element that is basically coming from me. That is like my superpower or something. No, he's an actual human being capable of smart thought, and he made a decision, and he needs to be punished for it.
Exactly, and like they keep saying this about Bering. They used to say about Sargon, then they then decide to do it to Bering, and it's like it's people making their own decisions. He doesn't have psychic abilities, and they keep saying he incites them. Where does he incite them? How does posting a video incite somebody?
No, but listen to this, right? When Anita's people do it, and they do it all the time. Like every time she complains about the developer, they will attack that developer. Like I have seen it. And even with Sargon, right? Like her entire subscriber base started just attacking Sargon, calling him pieces of shit and harassing him, you know, according to their definition, not mine. I know where the black button, they don't. But no, listen. Do
you remember when she did that video?
Like none of them say that Anita Sarkeesian is inciting her followers to do harassment. Which again shows that they really don't give a shit about it. And I wouldn't say that it's Anita's fault either, right? But if I were held to her own standards, I mean, if I were to ask a question, like I really hated the question that was asked of Anita. It's like, oh, but men are getting harassment too. I mean, you already know the answer. What I would do, I would actually give her a clear case. And I would be like, Anita, you're against, you know, when your critics give you harassment. Right now, your critics are harassing Sargon of Akkad. What were you to say to them?
And she'll probably deny it, but also
no, I would show her. Like you have smartphones. Like look on my smartphone, going right now. You know, people who are subscribed to you, they're harassing Sargon. What were you to say to them?
You know, we've got some super chats, and I've got something to say. So Gung Ho Jihad, I love that name. Gung Ho Jihad is the bestest cult of personality. Nice, and he has another one. These are Australian dollars, by the way. V needs some la la movement therapy on YouTube. I think that's some person.
Well, I'm just no, I'm not upset. I'm just giving out some steam. I really need it. Like after having my channel terminated, I was really depressed, and you know, like coming back and seeing all this harassment that I'm getting. I'm not claiming that I'm a victim, by the way, but I do need to just curse like a normal human being every now and then, not on Twitter because it's against the terms of service. But
I've got an interesting fact for you though.
Yeah.
When I made a video responding to Kevin Logan once, it got dogpiled by them twice. I know this because the first time it was negative overwhelmingly, but then my likes caught up and overwhelmingly went over them. Then again, about a day after, there was more dislikes. So I know that they've been purposefully sending people over to that particular one because I think that was the Bering doxing situation. So then I posed the question to them, is that dogpiling and harassment by your standards? And I know you've heard of it, Micaiah B. Or him, whatever. They said that that's Schadenfreude. And you can see on Twitter whenever he/she is arguing with us that, yeah, she's pretty much pro-harassment of anti-feminists because she thinks it's payback for whatever might happen from our side. She's pro-harassment. Most of them are. And if they aren't, they're enablers. And they just let it happen because, well, it's just anti-feminist.
Yeah, they're like progressives to Islam. You know, they're like every time, like progressive people aren't Islamic, they're atheists. But the moment you pick on a Muslim, it's like because of his ideology or because he did something, it's like, oh, not all Muslims, you shouldn't do this, blah blah blah. Have more respect for other religions, blah blah blah. But the moment you pick on Christianity, they're fine. And it's this disgusting behavior that they also have. Yeah. But anyway, I think it's been 50 minutes.
We've got a bit more time.
Okay.
So, what I want to know is, will we ever see another Gamergate? Do you reckon? Everyone keeps saying that. Like there was the
Gamergate?
There was a few. Gamergate 2.0. There's been a few instances recently, a few occasions where people say this is Gamergate 2.0.
No, you'll never see. The reason it's called Gamergate is because people were shocked by this culture. Like it was the first time people were exposed to this culture. and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And I think it's like people were always pissed. Like you would see someone like Anita Sarkeesian that was saying the most ridiculous shit, and all her critics would be, it's like, oh, it's misogyny, and you know, then she gets on to be like the gaming ambassador award, and people are like what the fuck, you know, this makes no sense. And people like knew there's something going on behind the scenes, but they didn't really they couldn't put their fingers on it. And when Gamergate happened, that's when people understood, you know, okay, this is because of feminism, this is because of this ideology, this is because of this and that, and it's nepotism. And that's why they got interested, because they thought that everyone would just point their fingers at them and say, no, corruption is wrong, colluding is wrong. But no one did it, right? And that's why Gamergate lasted for as long as it did.
And like all the people we would have traditionally turned to help us, like Jim Sterling and all the others, nowhere to be seen.
Yeah. And I remember like the whole thing with Gamergate was like literally about like the reason that people found it funny, at least I remember, is because Zoe Quinn was like, oh, cheating is like rape, because when you cheat, you can't get consent properly, because if your girlfriend knew you were cheating, then she wouldn't allow you to have sex with her. So it's pretty much like rape. And then it turns out that she raped her boyfriend 5 times, according to her. You know,
exactly.
And that's what was funny. So Mind and Matt makes this video, and people were laughing. It's like, okay, so you're a feminist, and ha ha ha. But then the video gets DMCA, right? And that's when people like start looking into it, because that's weird. It never happened before. And then you can't have this talk on 4chan. You can't have this talk on video gaming forums. You can't have this talk on what else did ban us? And
do you know who didn't ban it, and how I found out about it? I was on a Man United forum.
Oh, Reddit banned it. Yeah, Reddit banned it. Like Toll Biscuit tried to talk, and everyone got banned. And it was like, okay, so all these platforms are trying to hold this, you know, silent. And then like people started investigating, and they want to see why they're holding it silent, what's going on. And every time like people were looking at it, instead of like having an honest discussion, it was like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. You're a misogynist, and you know you hate women. And it's like, well, yeah. And then they made the fuck gamers articles, which is when people really woke up. It's like, what the fuck is it? You know,
I remember talking to someone about that who was a gamer, saying, look at this, look what they're doing to you. A coordinated assault against you. He says, I don't care. How can you not care about that? They're betraying you. And then what's interesting is all of this was caused by one demographic in the Bay Area. That is just insane, the amount of power they have. In one little area, in one small corner of the world.
I was shocked that they have the power to censor over so many platforms. And I thought, okay, what if the government ever wants to censor something? Like if some twat that likes video games and is a gaming journalist can censor so much, what happens if Microsoft, you know, they want to censor something? And honestly, they do the same. It's like when it was the Xbox One controversy, like most of the boards were censored, and the way they would do it is that you would have someone discussing about Xbox One, and then there were other people that were coming in the forum. They were saying like nigger, twat. And because of political correctness, no, I'm not kidding. Because of political correctness, the mods would step in and it's like, okay, this blah, blah, blah degenerated, and they would lock it down. And then another thread would pop up, and then they were like, retard, lame. Oh, you're using ableist language. We don't allow it here, banned, right? So they would use political correctness to ban legitimate criticism because some other people that were trolls were basically in that. And then they just released a thing, and they said, no one is allowed to make new threads about Xbox One because it seems that people can't have a civil conversation about it. And that's the end of it, right? So now if I would like make an actual argument against Xbox One, and I would say, look, I don't like the DRM only. I don't like the fact that it's always online. I don't like this and that. I would be banned from the Microsoft forums, not because I'm criticizing their product, according to them, but because this might get trolls that would use the words lame and retard.
And this happened in Mass Effect 3 when the shit hit the fan with the ending, and then Colin Moriarty saying, oh, you're just entitled. You gamers are entitled. Stop being so entitled.
Yeah, I am entitled. If I pay for something, I'm entitled. It's something so important that the government made laws for it. You know, like if you purchase something and it's a broken product or not as advertised, you can turn it back. Of course, you know, when people pay money, they should be entitled. Because you actually work for that entitlement, you know.
We pay for them essentially to keep running that company. So we should at least have some kind of say in it. Maybe like just a little bit of criticism. Like, yeah, this writing, it's not what we wanted. Yeah, we were expecting loads of different endings.
Arguments like don't like it, don't buy it. But when they're like trying to nerf the women's tits in Mortal Kombat or something like that, don't like it, don't buy it, private company. Where's those arguments? You know, there was like Ed Boon, the one who made the Mortal Kombat, and he nerfed the women's tits. They wanted more realistic tits. I don't understand what more realistic tits means, but anyway. So he posts like a cosplay of people playing Milena and Kitana, and they were like really big titty women. And I respond to him. It's like, so Ed, how can you look at that picture without thinking about nerfing those women's tits?
That's a good one. I like that. Did you get banned?
No, I don't know if he actually reads them. It's like a very corporate type of.
Anyway, Twitter. I've got one more question before we have to go. What I've noticed is, because I think, is it one of your recent videos you mentioned the Russian Deadpool thing, and how maybe I was just watching your old ones, and Christy Winters had the candle, and it's like, notice how they're always making excuses for him shooting her, Heather, and they keep attacking you for attacking her when nobody attacked Heather. They attacked him. They made jokes about him, and they constantly keep making excuses and defending him. And it's like they're saying you making jokes about him is worse than defending a murderer who lied about being on drugs. It's like,
I'm pretty sure you can write a mail, send it to what's her name,
Jenny McDermott.
Yeah, Jenny McDermott, because
apparently that's trolling. She's not getting letters from me.
She's not. I know, like, mate, I fucking know she's not. But still, send it to Jenny McDermott, and she's going to send it to Russian Deadpool. And yeah, I mean, you can say you have his back. It's okay, mate. You're in prison, you're in jail, you killed the bitch, but at least we have your back. And why should I care? Like, honestly, like, this is the reason I'm saying this, just to hurt these fuckers' feelings. Because I don't even know Heather. I have nothing for her. But I'm calling her a bitch just to piss these people off. Why the fuck should I care? It's a woman that I don't know. Right? And it's not because she's a feminist that I'm making all of this. It's because your friend is a feminist and was lecturing me on how to treat women, ends up killing women, and now apparently I need to be an odd. And it's not only that, right? But it's because of this you're saying that I make fun of her. Well, I guess I need to make fun of her now so you guys don't have to be liars.
And they constantly just ignore the fact that murdering doesn't happen all the time, but sexual assault, pedophilia.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm trying. I'm with Sargon in a Skype chat, and he was making like this video about male feminists, which is going to come up soon. And he asked me in order to help him do research. I couldn't just. There were so many. There were so fucking many cases. Just it wouldn't stop. I think we were looking for 3 hours, and I still haven't gotten through even half of them.
It was like Kraut asked me to help research his video about their community and the drama that they went through. It's like, well, just look at my channel, mate. I've pretty much documented most of it that's happened in the last couple of years.
The thing with documenting on that channel is that it's all over the place, and it's still hard because you have to watch like really long videos. But it's just like so much shit. And even the Skeptic Plus community, if you go through them, like Vadim, he started a fundraiser to make a creationist cat video. And it was like $6,000 and crickets. The thing with Spino, his girlfriend now has the money, and she's still in Qatar, and crickets.
What's weird though about that? I heard that his mum blocked it, but I guess that's not true.
No, that's speculation. No, that's not what happened. No, but you now have like who is it? Woolly Bumblebee. She made the charity. And she took the money. And it's like every single time you take one of these people and you put the magnifying glass, you find actual illegal shit. Her husband, Willie's husband, apparently got kicked off of the police force for doing
Yeah, he did. And H Bomber guy was in like a drama as well recently. I made videos on that, which made him look like a bit of a hypocrite. That was quite funny.
It's like you're associating with the most disgusting people on the internet, and you're like pointing fingers at others. Like, really?
I think he used to be part of Medica, the thing that Jim used to hang around with, Mr. Medica.
I don't know, but again, like, I wouldn't mind if these twats would point out the arguments that I'm making, and they would like actually look at my channel and say, you did this and this, and I disagree. But all they do is like they judge my morality, and I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit about what you think. You people are criminals. You stole money. I have never stolen money.
Like, are you going to make a video on that, on Woolly Bumblebee, the $6,000 that she stole?
I don't know. Maybe, but later. I need to focus on some actual content because I focused on this drama for too much.
It was fun though.
Yeah, I want to look into Nazi Germany for a bit and see how things were there, because there's a lot of people glorifying it.
I know.
Yeah, and they like don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like the whole thing with kids shouldn't listen to the parents. It's not a communist thing. It's a Nazi Germany thing. They were actually told in school under Hitler Youth that you need to be free. You need to free yourself. Free your mind, and including like don't listen to your parents. Right? Your parents are trying to keep you in chains. You need to free yourself. And it was the idea like being free as in just follow what the state says. And it shows that how. This woman came into she left the school, like the public school, and went to a private one. And when she met her friends back at the public school, they were like 16 and they already had children.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like, really fucked up things like that, these people don't know what they want. It's not about the socialism or the nationalism. It's like when you give all the power to a couple of people that are leading the country, you're putting a lot of trust that these people are not going to fuck you over. And it's
exactly.
Yeah, and it's unwarranted trust. Like, why would you ever, like, look at our politicians right now. They don't have all the power. Imagine Hillary Clinton having all the power.
Oh,
imagine like the Hillary Clinton dictatorship.
World War III, mate. Anyway,
you usually have like good presidents that are good in like the first term, but when they reach to their second term, they start doing shit. And people say that this is because, number one, they're corrupted by power, and that number two, they know that they're not going to be held accountable for what they're doing in their second term, because it's already,
Anyway, we've got some super chats. Carlos David donated £2. Cheers, mate. And then Sir Adamantine again. This guy is just insane with his super chats. V, thanks for introducing twatter into my vocabulary.
I'm really jealous of the super chat because I can't have it.
Why can't you have it? What's happening?
It doesn't work in Romania.
Oh no.
Yeah, not all countries are eligible. So
people donate to his PayPal. Super chat his PayPal.
Anyway, mate.
Gypsy needs shekels. Yeah, it's been an hour now.
I really need to go because I have some stuff to do. But thanks for having me, mate. It was really fun having this chat.
Yeah, man, it was great. Nice to meet you in person. Nice to meet you on the stream for the second time ever.
Yeah. Anyway, I really have to go now, so I'm just going to go.
All right.
See ya.
See you later. All right, guys, I'm going to head off too. I've got work tomorrow, so have fun.